Hello, everyone. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video tonight on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful evening wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm also going to talk about what's going on as far as the Great Reset and that whole agenda as well. New York City is proposing a World Economic Forum inspired law that would require a blackout to be put in place to save the energy grid, known as the Dark Skies Protection Act. It would require businesses and residents to turn off non-essential lighting between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. If passed, Times Square will be exempt from the law. And you see, someone on X said, criminal gangs approve this message. This is going to lead to an uptick in crime in New York City. But they're not only doing it in New York. I've seen that they're going to start doing this in other countries as well. And then there's this, UFOs and aliens. This is so good. JD says he's going to Area 51. But he also says UFOs aren't aliens, they're demons. Take a listen.
We're waiting for it. We saw aliens.gov. We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but like, here's where they're not. And, you know, and so Obama says, yes, aliens are, he gets asked point blank, are aliens real? He says, oh, yeah. And then he goes, but they're not at Area 51. And
well, where are they?
Well, that's what he says. Right. That's a great question. Trump had to go save him, and he said he's going to declassify. Okay. So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything is otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there, and there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, you know, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there.
So what do you all think? You think that UFOs aren't aliens, that they're actually demons? And it's not just JD Vance saying this. It's also Tucker Carlson. Take a listen.
It's my personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence, that they're not aliens. They've always been here. And I do think it's spiritual. That's my view. So, and again, it's not provable, but based on the evidence, I think.
I'm with you. Absolutely.
But if the U.S. government has, in fact, had direct contact with these beings, whatever they are, I've already told you what I think they are, and has entered into some sort of agreement with them, which is the claim of informed people, I would say. Whether they're right or wrong, I can't say conclusively. But if that is true, I mean, it's a very, very, very heavy thing.
Yeah. A lot of people say interdimensional beings.
Right. I want to ask, are angels and demons, or how would you describe these beings?
You know, these are, again, I'm getting into the realm of conjecture, so I just want to say that flat out.
Entity.
But one thing I know for a dead certain fact, having seen it, is that there is good and evil, that we are being acted upon at all times. And
I definitely agree with that. I think there is definitely good, and then there's evil. I mean, look at what the World Economic Forum does. Their whole agenda is 100% demonic driven and fully evil, 100%. But it almost reminds me of the time that we're going through right now. We know that there's Project Bluebeam out there. And we also know that there's UFO sightings all the time. But what are they actually? I mean, one side of me wants to say that they're most likely demonic presence in the world. And the other side wants me to think that there has to be life on other planets other than just Earth. But what are your thoughts? Put it in the comments section down below. Oil at $200, the nightmare that just became real. So if oil hits $200, it could crash markets like 1929. Why is it $200? I see that every single day. And the reason that I think we see it every day is because they are going to let oil run up above $200 a barrel. They're preparing you for it right now. But they're saying this will lead to banks collapsing, power shut down, institutions going bankrupt, a new monetary system of printing endless money. They're telling you all this can happen if oil gets to $200 a barrel. So this could be the new financial system coming, the crisis before the rise of the new system. Prepare for restrictions. Get set for driving restrictions and 4-day weeks as Iran crisis deepens. Ex-BP executive warns. So now they're talking about the energy lockdowns, and this is everywhere. And now they're talking about people not being able to travel for long distances. This is also mentioned in the Great Reset agenda. Remember, 15-minute cities were going to be a thing in the future. It starts with smart grids and so on. Is this what's playing out right now? And Elon Musk is reportedly joining a call with Trump about the Iran war. Why is he involved? Well, it's the same reason why this guy is always involved whenever there's a crisis in the United States. Remember, BlackRock got involved after the crash of '08. BlackRock also got involved after the pandemic as well. And now Larry Fink is warning of a global recession. He says if a ceasefire happens and Iran remains a threat, oil prices could stay above $100 or even $150 for years. And in this scenario, a global recession will happen. So what have I been saying? This could be the crisis that they were planning. This way, all of a sudden, everything goes down, and then the new system rises from the ashes. And of course, XRP would rise with the new system. And remember, Larry can't talk about XRP. And everybody thinks that BlackRock is still going to file that XRP spot ETF. I don't think that XRP ETF is coming at all. In fact, I think this has more to do with tokenization. And tokenization, it could be a good thing and it could be a very bad thing. Tokenization puts us on the path to cashless society. It puts us on the path to central bank digital currency. It puts us on the path to digital identity. Because think about it like this. Say, for instance, you want to tokenize an asset. Of course, you're going to need a digital ID so that you could prove that is your asset. Same thing with buying a house in the future. If you're buying a house, you're going to have to make sure you're buying 100% of the tokens associated with that property. Otherwise, like I said in a previous video once, you could end up paying rent to somebody that owns 10% of the tokens or 20% of the tokens. And Larry Fink, he wants to tokenize everything, even private companies in the future. And if you listen to the World Economic Forum, they even want to tokenize the water, the trees, and so on. OpenAI scientists wanted a bunker before dropping AGI. So the co-creator of ChatGPT got so freaked out by how fast AI was evolving that he told new hires, we're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. Why? Because he thought artificial general intelligence could change civilization or end it. He and CTO Mira Murati even tried to fire CEO Sam Altman for moving too fast and ignoring safety. But when chaos broke out, they backed down. Altman came back, and OpenAI went back to chasing billions of dollars. So they want to build bunkers ahead of AI. And they're not the only ones. Mark Zuckerberg did it. A lot of other billionaires did that as well. So now it has people thinking that the Terminator was a documentary. And you see, leaked documents from Anthropic showed that a new generation of super strong models, Claude Mythos, is already in testing with Anthropic, believing it poses unprecedented cybersecurity risk. And that comes from Fortune. So was Terminator, the movie, actually a documentary? A lot of people believe we're moving towards that. A lot of people also believe that RippleNet is going to be part of Skynet, like of the future. Personally, I think they need to slow down when it comes to AI. Just take a few steps back instead of pushing full steam ahead. It's like, okay, let's go live with this and we'll face the consequences later. You can't think like that when you're creating robots. Satanic. Elon Musk partners with World Economic Forum to usher in a digital Great Reset. I remember this clip from a while back. I did a Great Reset video once, and I remember mentioning this clip. That is actually Elon Musk at a Halloween party with his mother. That's why he was wearing that costume. So they're saying Elon Musk has a genius for PR. He seems to be on the front page of every newspaper around the world every day. He builds electric cars, sends rockets to Mars, has 10 children, is the richest man in the world, and says dumb things on Twitter and then buys the platform. But they're saying that he also is going to usher in a digital Great Reset. Now, what is Elon pushing all the time? Universal high income, and the idea that you're never going to have to work again. You don't even have to invest in retirement because you're not going to need a retirement. Everybody's getting all this massive amounts of money. But here's the reality of it. I don't think we're going to see universal high income. In fact, I think everybody is going to be paid based on their skill set, their work history, and most likely they'll even include your health history. But I believe that universal basic income is going to be handed out to most people because they're going to have a limit to this. And it's going to be in the form of central bank digital money. And that money is going to expire. It's going to be able to be clawed back. And you're going to have a digital ID to get it. You might even end up with a chip to get that universal basic income if some people out there have their way. But we all knew that the World Economic Forum was full of demons. These are people that want to bottleneck the population as well. Remember, there's too many people on the planet. We have to kill off a bunch of people in the name of climate change. That's how these people think. But this is the same reason that I always told you. You have to enrich yourself while you still can. You have to stay invested into XRP. XRP is what's going to be moving all the value in the future. Tokenized assets, tokenized gold, oil. It's going to be moving central bank digital currencies. It's going to most likely be moving the universal basic income that people are getting every single month. If you stay invested in it and you get rich from it, there's a chance that you end up using parallel rails when making transactions. XRP is going to be more valuable than most things we could think of right now because it's going to be moving the value of those things. Same reason I always told you it's never going to be backed by gold, and they're never going to buy it back. Too many people are going to sell on the way up way too soon. But the one thing I wanted to point out in this video is I don't think the Great Reset was canceled. I think the can just might have been kicked down the road by a few years. And if you're an XRP holder, as the transition happens, you're going to get very rich from it. And all you got to do is not sell too soon. That's the secret to all of this. Anybody that sells too soon is absolutely going to regret it. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.